is from Julian in Tilburg, Holland.
Holland. Hello, Julian.
The topic is bridging, preferring change, and accepting what is. The question is, I'd like some clarity in a mix of thoughts, which I'd like to bridge to a next level of understanding. There's, I prefer an improvement of my financial flow, change. There's accept what is, don't change. These two go together like oil and water, or like myself and triggers. They don't. Feels like a knot in my system, like a paradox. I should first own what is, but when I sit with that and ask what is true now, I go, I want to improve my financial situation, which sounds like I don't want to own what is. How can we bridge that I prefer change and that you want me to not do that? Thank you for your immense guidance, meaning if you'd only hum a bit for the next minute, and I would have to take that as my answer, I'd still be forever grateful for all you've done so far. Julian.
What a goofball. Okay. This is a really powerful question. And it's funny because he's no longer on the thing, so he doesn't get to hear it yet. For years and years and years and years, we talked about this idea of preference. We talked about this idea of free will. We talked about this idea of judgment. We talked about this idea of choice. We talked about all these ideas. And these ideas are stepping stones, staircase even. They are not necessarily simultaneously true. Let us explain. Sometimes, in order to reach a new level of spiritual awareness, one has to surrender what you relied on for spiritual awareness previous to this. Similarly to, you surrender your triggers to what is true now, or you surrender your fears to consciousness. We haven't talked about it at length, but there does come a time when you end up surrendering preference. We talked about it a bit when we introduced our idea of this is my first choice, or this was my plan all along. In that moment, when you say this is my first choice, you're actually surrendering your preference. Now let's just sit with that for a second. Surrendering preference. Sounds a lot like surrendering free will. It does. It actually means surrendering free will. But if that's triggering, just say I'm surrendering preference. You're using your free will to surrender free will, so it's not like it was ever taken away from you. Tricky, huh? Told you, sometimes you have to let go of some stuff to move on. When you have a preferred state in mind, you lock yourself into a trajectory. You lock yourself into an idea. You lock yourself into limitation. You lock yourself into fixation. That's one word we've been using a lot lately, is fixation. Fixation on outcome. Takes out creativity. Takes out insight, takes out ahas. When you embrace the idea that what you're currently experiencing, although not something you previously would have considered preferred, is in fact perfect, what does that do in you? What does it do in you to say this non-preferred state is actually perfect? The thing is that non-preferred state is a fact, and it's true, and it's real, and it's authentic. So it is perfect if we let perfect be defined as actual. The invitation you extend to this not preferred moment that I'm going to try to be preferred. You can't use the same part of your brain to process it. You can't say, oh, this isn't preferred, but I'm going to pretend or tell myself or convince myself or somehow sell myself on the idea that this is preferred. You'll never believe that lie. And when you talk about your financial situation, when you don't have income to do the things you want to do, it's really easy to say, this isn't preferred, damn it. But it's here. But it's now. But it's your opportunity. It's real. Acknowledging the truth of something doesn't say, I want it to be this way forever. It says, I want to wring out of it the thing that is the opportunity for me to experience now. I want to wring out of it the opportunity of what it is to be experienced right now. Fixating on it should be different, and this is really always loud for you guys with medical stuff, marriage stuff, and money stuff. The 3 M's: medical, marriage, and money. It's where we have seen the loudest, where you say, you know, you get trapped in, this should be different, rather than, how is this now? How can I be in this now? How can I interact with this now? What is now? And Julian's question, he, very consciously pointed out that when he tries to sit with what is, he gets, I want more money. But that is the trap. You've been in I want more money for a long time. All of you have practiced that one. And if you continue to play with I want more money, and then you say, what is true now? I want more money. What is true now? I want more money. You're going to be in the I want more money place for a hell of a long time. But if instead you sit down and say, what is true now? I want more money because I feel like I'm not a good father because I don't provide well. Or because the because part of it, although that's not one of our favorite words, in this usage is accurate. I want more money because, after the because is the interesting part, because it changes. The I want more money scream to the universe never changes. Therefore, it never has room for insight. I want more money because. What is on the other side of that because? And then when you find out what's on the other side of that because, you're going to have your life change. Now, is it going to change in the way that you predicted it would when you said, I want more money? No, almost guaranteed not. There's so many equal signs around what life would be like if whatever your big cry to the heavens got changed, got worked on, got worked with. And that's just another place where you have to kind of dig down in yourself and say, I am in a state that I wish was different. I have an equal sign of how life would be if it were different. I'm making assumptions, and none of that supports me. If I said, here's my current now, what else is here? And this is something that we've said a million times, and we can't actually explain it. It's an experiential thing. You experience it, and you go, oh, I think that's what they've been talking about all this time. And then you drift away from it. Then you come back to it and drift away from it and come back to it. But there's a place in you that knows when you get to it. When you've been able to look at a non-preferred state and say yes to it. We need to come up with better language, we guess. The idea that when you look at a non-preferred state and you are able to say, come close to me. Come close to me, you non-preferred state. Come close, right here. Give me everything you've got. Let me have it all. I will drain you of whatever you have to offer me. Every moment you spend resisting the current truth is not helpful. Now, how does this apply to situations like, I'm in a bad marriage? Okay, this doesn't mean you endure suffering. This means that you bring it close to you and you are honest with yourself about it. If you're in a bad marriage, then there's action you can take. But if you just have the same kind of cry of pain I want more money, I want more money, I want more money, I want more money. It's never going to get you anywhere. It's like the ultimate little hamster wheel. It just spins. It's so small. I want more money. It's only 4 words. You can go and discharge your discomfort over there any old time you want. It's a waste of time. I'll tell you that right now. The evolution here that's really not easy, but it's real, is when the non-preferred state results in something that you wouldn't have gotten had the preferred state played out. And the non-preferred state isn't as difficult when you don't resist it. And that you just have to figure out for yourself. We can't sell you on that, but it's true. What'll happen is you have a non-preferred state and you'll sort of accept it, but then really you just find another version of that non-preferred state to hamster wheel about. So you have to be on yourself about this. But it is possible. It's strongly possible. We've seen direct evidence of it with Veronica over the last couple months.